February the 11th, 2007, I died. I didn't physically die, but every part of me died. I was on the operating table and the doctor delivered the first of my twins, Abigail. They put her in an isolette over in the corner of the room and they were working on her, and I could see her arms and her legs kicking. She was struggling and my eyes were completely pulled with tears and I felt as though I was drowning. I was struggling to breathe along with her. I felt like I was dying watching her suffer, and the doctor told the nurses to quit working on her. And he walked over and he picked her up. He didn't cradle her, he didn't wrap her in a blanket, he just held her out in front of me and said, "Tell her goodbye, she's not gonna make it." And I reached up and I touched her shoulder and I ran my hand down her arm and held her tiny little hand. I spoke the hardest words that I've ever spoken in my life that day. I said, "Go with Jesus, Abigail, go with Jesus." And with that, the doctor took her and put her back in the isolette, and I watched her moving less and less, struggling to breathe, and finally it just became still. While I was watching her, I heard Parker cry, and he was breathing on his own, and I had hope that he would live. And the following day, I stood over him and I sang to him about the love of God, and I apologized to him for his sister dying. And I went home and got the call that his heart had stopped beating. And I felt like mine did too. But I got up and I went into the bathroom and I washed my face. Beneath mountains of grief, somewhere from down deep, deep inside of me, I worshiped. And I thanked God. And then I told the Lord that their lives couldn't be over and for nothing, that it had to count, it had to matter. Their lives had to make an impact on this world, and I asked God to allow their lives through me to reach 1 million people with the gospel. So the entire concept behind Abby Grace Books is helping children find God in every place in their life, helping children to know God, to know His love. They're the main characters in the book, and they're telling the story of the goodness of God. I teach children in a Christian school. The love that I have for Parker and Abigail and for my other children carries over to the love I have for my students, and being able to share the gospel with them brings purpose behind their lives, because they changed me forever. Grief, although it feels like an eternity, is so short compared to actual eternity that I'll get to share with them. And I want to take as many people with me as I can into that eternity. That's what the Abby Grace book series is all about. It's about reaching children through the life of Parker and Abigail with the gospel and the love of God. It's about reaching out to hurting and grieving parents, sharing the love of Jesus and the healing of Jesus.